the moment, let's say Chris and Philip are brothers, the moment we find out our mother has to move into senior living, we have a gun to our head to make a really hard decision really quickly. And in that moment, we realize, how the heck are we going to pay for this, Chris? Mom's got a pension of $2,800 a month, but the place we move her into is $8,000 a month. Are you picking up that
cheap
difference?
That would be cheap.
Yeah, I'm just being rounding down.
I'm just letting everybody know, $8,000, man, you found yourself a steal for a senior living facility.
Exactly. And so if mom only has $2,800 a month, are you coming up with that $4,000 a month since you're more affluent than me? I mean, we're her sons. We're not going to let. In that moment, we go, crap, we're going to need to sell the house, because most Americans, some are rich, but guys, most are house rich, cash poor. They have a pension. Their equity is tied up in their house, and they have to sell. Reason number one why these are the best leads: they have true motivation. They have to sell. They're being told by a doctor. Like, what do seniors believe in more than anything? Their priest and their doctor, right? The doctor saying you have to move. And now the adult children are helping that senior find the right place. And that is the flashpoint of when the best real estate leads are happening. To be clear, just for all your listeners right now, I'm not talking about taking a single family home and turning it into a residential assisted living community. I'm talking about when you move your mom into any assisted living community, whether it's a little one or a big one. It's that act of that moment, that flashpoint of when they go from, and back to what you said about the grilled cheese, buying someone's forever home is a big stinking deal to me, right? I have a fulfillment in what I do. I see the weight come off the shoulders of the family, because you're buying their memories, man. It's more than just a house. And today, if anyone's listening to this, I need people to help me with our mission that have the right heart condition. It's way more than just the house. If you're just transactional, right, and you only care about money, mom's house is not for you if that's how you look at this business, right? But if you guys can just learn to put the person first, is that action. If you learn how to put the people first, who to talk to, where to find them, what to say, what to be, and guess what? It's not by being an investor or a real estate agent. And your listeners are probably going, oh crap, I'm both of those. Well, guess what? So am I. But it's not how you lead. It's not, I'm an investor, I'm a real estate agent. Because back in 2011, when I stumbled across this, it was because I hated working bad leads, and I started off doing it all wrong. And that's why I'm excited to talk about what Mom's House, how it grew from me 23 years in this business. In 2011, I discovered senior living as to that flashpoint, and how I did it wrong, and how now I'm like, this thing has grown nationwide, and how, it's a money school. So let's talk numbers. I'm sure everybody loves it. 7 out of 10 Americans over the age of 65 are going to live in some sort of assisted care before they pass away.
Yeah.
That they own 9 trillion. That was with a T. You don't hear that number as much unless it's our deficit. That's a whole other subject. They own the boomers and their parents own $9 trillion in real estate. So you keep hearing about this transfer of wealth. Yeah, the transfer of wealth is going to happen if they don't spend it all in long-term care. Remember, you said $8,000 a month cheap. I mean, there's places here in St. Louis that are $14,000 a month, right? How long? People are always so concerned about outliving their money, and people are living longer and longer, and they are outliving their money. Please know, unless your parents are really rich, they could easily spend all their money. There might not be an inheritance. And so why, as real estate investors today, why we're all listening, they're going to need to sell that house before death. Yes. People call what I do pre-probate. So probates are great leads. I love probate leads. They're my second favorite leads, but they're a distant second, because once again, the analogy of Chris and Philip being brothers, if our mom is now passed away, now it's our inheritance, and you and I are going to fight for every dollar, because it's our money, right? What's in it for us? But when mom's moving into senior living, you kind of look at it differently. You go, well, I don't care if we get 92 grand or 96 grand or 98 grand for the house, because that money's not coming to me and Chris. It's going to mom's care. It's going to go sit in an account, and it's going to get whittled till it's gone. Then Medicaid kicks in, right? Or other government programs. And so it's the only time I've ever seen where it's not about the price. It's about the trust. The T word. Do they know, like, and trust you? It's easy to be known, a little harder to be liked, but it's hard to be trusted. And you can tell I'm passionate about this subject. It's like when I look at people's Facebook pages and we're all like, investor, look at the size of my check. Our industry has this like stigma because we're like showing the size of our checks, and that, I'll just say it. Bigger Pockets is one of the biggest podcasts on the planet, right? That word, bigger pockets. Do you think a senior wants the investor to have bigger pockets?
No. And, you know, I got something to say about that. You know, I've been in the game for a long time, maybe not, not as long as you, but I've been around longer than most. And I go to a lot of masterminds. I was just speaking at one this weekend. And, you know, when I go around and I ask people, so what do you do? You know, everybody says, oh, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a real estate investor. And to me, all that tells me is you're a rookie, because you're not a real estate investor. Every one of you are truly what you think is a real estate investor, but like, what do you actually do? And then I always ask them, I said, so, okay, what do you do? Well, I buy real estate. No. What do you do? And I'll sound like a broken record. I just keep asking them, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Because what I'm trying to find out is what problem do you solve? Yes, you're in real estate, but what problem are you solving? That, my friend, is what you do. When you say you're a real estate investor, nobody wants to talk to you. Everybody's a real estate investor these days. Even if they're not, they say, I'm a real estate investor. Did you see my Lamborghini that I rented last weekend on my Instagram? I'm a real estate investor.
Yeah.
Front. What problem do you solve? When you can identify to me or to Philip what problem you solve, I then will tell you that is what you do.
I love it, Chris. And the other word that goes along with that is the word entrepreneur, right? I'm an entrepreneur. What the hell does it? Oh, it means you're unemployed. You know what I mean? It's just as bad of a word, right? And you say the word investor in the senior living world, all they hear is dun. That's all they hear. And if you say real estate agent, that might even be worse. You ever hear the term crocodile brain? Crocodile brain. When you meet somebody that's a real estate agent, your brain shuts off. You know what that is. It's nothing new. It's how the industry's been fixing.
Same thing as financial advisor. Oh God.
You. Yes, and mortgage people, right? Our brains shut off. And so this is to say that you're to switch from investor and realtor, even though you might be both of those things, because I am both, but to switch from that to I'm a senior transition specialist, it makes them go, what does that mean?
Exactly. Now I'm like, ooh,
all you want them to do is sit up in their chair. What does that mean? And I like what you said is, I help the senior living industry to be more profitable with the clients they already have. I help real estate investors to find the best leads in the business. But when you ask me that question, Chris, if we were at that, I would say simply this: I help the adult children moving their parents into senior living to make that transition as easy as possible on the family and the senior at that moment. We call our daughter Judy. I try to make every decision for Mom's House to put daughter Judy first, because why? I know investors would give me a back rub for these leads. They're the best leads. And I know the real estate senior living world, it makes them more profitable with the clients they already have by the tune of 10 to 20%. So I'm going to use the word shelf life. I don't like it, but if you own an apartment building and your tenants only lasted 28 months on average, you would have a problem, right? You have a door, you have this little window where they're your client and they last 28 months. That's the average of senior living. I add months onto the front end because here, and you guys, it's a money school. Write this down, guys. Get your pencil out. This sentence has made me $1 million. So write this down. When you know the right person to talk to in senior living, I ask this question: hey, do you ever have a situation where they want to move mom in, but they can't until they get the house sold? It's usually met with a laugh. They're like, Phil, yeah, every damn day. That's what we do here. Like, yes, that's a problem. I'm like, great. Are you working with anybody that's going through that right now? I just literally asked for the sale on the second sentence I've said to them. And I didn't say I'm an investor. I didn't say I'm a real estate agent. I fix a senior living problem that they all have. 74% of them. That's the problem. They're like, yes, we have that problem. And yes, the family fights. And guys, are we all going to agree that the real estate market's phenomenal right now, right? There's no inventory. That's not the issue. That's the end result. Here's the real problem.
That's because too many people are talking to realtors and going to the MLS, because that's the answer they're going to get there. They're not solving a problem.
So we find out today that our mom just fell down. She's going to have a hip surgery. She's going to live in 3 weeks. She has to move out. We try to find that place that's $9,000 a month, because Chris and I love our mom. We're not going to put her in the cheapest. We're going to put her in the $10,000 a month place, right? Now we start this, her money's starting to whittle down. We're like, shit, we need to sell this house. We meet with that real estate agent and they say, clean this place out. And now we got to get our sister involved, and she lives across the country, and she thinks we're crazy that we're blowing this out of proportion. It's not real. The real estate agent saying, clean this place out, do this list of rehab items, then we take pictures, then we sell it. You've just kicked the can down the road. In a good scenario, 6 months. I used to say 7 because it used to take a month to sell them. Now it takes 9 minutes to sell them. But that's only when you get them on the market, guys. Right. And with Chris and I not living in the same city, and we're married, we got kids, we're full-time lives, and we're flying back and forth to mom's home city. We're checking on mom. By the way, guys, if you knew you had 28 months left with your mom right now, would you spend 1 minute rehabbing that old house to try to milk
No.
a couple extra dollars.
Not a minute.
I'm gonna get cussing. Now I'm gonna get. You don't even know. Of course we wouldn't. And so, what's so exciting about Mom's House is we're a nationwide company. The senior living industry trusts us because of our training. Because people take action, they take our training to learn about this industry. Which, by the way, it's you know, it's a lot of training. It could be a few week class, and we boil it down to 3 days. But it's like your melon is just full every single day because it's so intense about what we try to teach these people about the senior living industry and how it's very different than real estate. But if you take the time to learn it, this lead source can feed you the next 20 plus years. We've got 21 million boomers over the next 20 years that will be doing this transfer from their forever home into senior living, and they're going to want to unlock that equity. They're going to need, I should say it differently, they're going to have to unlock that equity. That's the flashpoint of when people need to sell. People used to say, Phil, you're in a nice little niche. And I'm like, little, you don't understand the numbers. Probate is the little niche, right? People are getting smarter. They're doing trust and all these things. Probate is getting littler and littler. 7 out of 10 Americans, not even including trust, are going to need to sell their house before they pass. That is our industry. I'll challenge everyone listening right now. Think about the last 5 houses you bought. Were they 28 years old or were they 82 years old?